Hey adventurers, welcome back to my channel where we dive deep into the wonders of the great outdoors. Today we're discussing how to plan and prepare for an exciting yet challenging experience, winter hiking. Whether you're a seasoned trailblazer or stepping into the snow for the first time, this guide is your key to ensuring a safe and enjoyable hike amidst the peaceful beauty of winter. If you're new here, I'm Shelby, a professional hiking and backpacking guide for Ground Up Adventures, an outdoor outfitter in Colorado. Before we dig into how to plan and prepare for a winter hike, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any tips or info to feel your best on your adventures. Let's gear up and get started. First up, gearing up for the cold. The right attire is crucial to staying safe and comfortable on your snowy adventures. I always start with a moisture-wicking base layer, typically merino wool, and then add an insulating layer and top it off with a waterproof outer layer. Don't forget gloves, extra socks, and a beanie. I always keep an extra set of dry layers in a dry bag at the bottom of my pack, just in case. I've linked some of my favorite layers and other recommended gear that we'll discuss in this video below, and some of these gear links are affiliate links, meaning I may make a small commission at no extra cost to you, so thank you so much for supporting me if you happen to use my links. Next, traction devices and trekking poles for stability on icy and snowy trails. So that includes micro spikes, and I use trekking poles year round because they're really great for supporting your knees on hikes, but in the winter they are extremely helpful for extra stability, especially if you're snowshoeing or traveling in areas with deep snow. And definitely don't overlook insulated waterproof boots to keep your feet dry and warm. With shorter days, a reliable headlamp and extra batteries are a must, and for emergencies, a lightweight bivvy and emergency blanket could be lifesavers. Planning your route is next. Especially in the winter, you should choose trails that match your skill level and the current conditions. And when you're looking at routes to decide what might be the best option, you should consider factors such as distance, elevation gain, expected weather, and hours of daylight. The days are always shorter in the winter, so this is something that you need to think about. You should check the weather forecast the days leading up to your hike, as well as the day of your hike before you leave. I really like checking the weather using windy.com, but you can use whatever weather source you prefer. Remember that if you're traveling to areas of higher elevations, the weather will not look like it does at lower elevations, so always plan for colder temperatures and more extreme weather and winds. And of course, always check avalanche conditions before heading out. You can do this by checking your state and or local avalanche forecasting. For example, in Colorado, we have the CAIC or the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, but you can find yours at avalanche.org. Speaking of avalanches, understanding and respecting their risks is vital to staying safe. If you plan on heading out in avalanche terrain, it is your responsibility to know and understand how to figure out if your route encounters avalanche terrain, as well as understanding the forecast, paying attention to recent storms, and equipping yourself with avalanche safety gear, including a beacon, probe, and shovel, and knowing how to use them. I highly recommend taking an avalanche safety course if you plan on heading into avalanche terrain, as the knowledge could save your life. I've actually included a little bit more information on avalanche courses for you below. Staying nourished and hydrated is key, even if you're not feeling thirsty or hungry, which, if that happens, don't be too concerned, as the cold does have a tendency to suppress our thirst and appetite, but it is so important to take the time to stop and take care of yourself and refuel your body. So pack high energy foods and use insulated bottles to prevent your water from freezing. If you don't want that extra weight, you can also just store your Nalgene in your pack upside down, just like this. Just make sure that the lid is tightened all the way. I am personally a big fan of bringing along a thermos of warm tea to stay hydrated and help keep my core warm while I'm hiking. And don't forget to always bring more snacks and food and water than you think you'll need. Honestly, if you can handle the extra weight, it is such a nice treat to pack a small little backpacking stove to make hot chocolate or cook yourself a warm meal when you arrive at your destination. And then whenever possible, hike with a buddy and always inform someone or a loved one on your hiking plan. I'm a big advocate for solo hiking too, so for an extra step of safety, especially for solo hikers, I've linked a free downloadable hiking itinerary below to help keep you safe and give your loved ones the necessary details of your trip. In addition, when you are hiking, try your best to stay on trail or on your planned route. Snow can be really deep once you've gotten off trail, and if you aren't prepared, you could end up getting trapped. Route finding skills are extremely important, especially in the winter, so always bring a map and compass, and more specifically, know how to use them. You've heard me say this a few times now, and it's because knowing how to use your gear is essential to helping you stay safe, especially on winter hikes. If you don't know how to use it, it's not really serving you much of a purpose. And then never rely on other hikers' tracks, as this can lead you off your route and get you lost. And if I'm being honest, this has happened to me before. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility as a hiker to know the route. If you're traveling where skiers have been, you should also be aware that it's common courtesy to not hike over their existing tracks. And then remember to know your limits and when to turn around. The mountain will always be there waiting for you on another day. Your safety is always the number one priority. For me, my goal at the end of every trip is to return home safely, and that should be your number one goal as well. Remember that getting up is optional, but getting down is non-negotiable. Winter hiking offers unparalleled fun, snowy experiences, but it demands respect and preparation. By gearing up, planning carefully, and staying informed, you can enjoy the majestic winter scenery safely. For more tips to set you up for success on your outdoor adventures, make sure to subscribe and follow along on my social media channels linked below. And until next time, stay safe and embrace the adventure.